Hi, I'm Kathy with Canyon Walker Connections, and I do work between the church, the Christian church, and the gay Christian community, and also the gay community. And what I'm hoping to bring to you today is just some insights from the past 10 years of working within the gay community. Some things that I wish that I had known 10 years ago. It might have made me a kinder person and a more understanding person. So who I'm talking to is actually people just like me 10 years ago. If you had asked me would I see gay people in heaven, I would have hedged. I would have eventually given you the kinder version of no. And I would have believed that from what I was told, not from anything I studied, and certainly not from any relationships I had. It's just how I understood it to be. And the problem happening right now is the gay community is getting a message of hatred and intolerance from the Christian community because we're allowing the very noisy voices on the edge to speak those words, those messages of God for us. We've ceded our voice. And here we sit in the middle, and most of us are fairly passive about our stance, and we're incredibly silent. So what the gay community hears is those horrible messages that are not messages of Jesus' love. So if you're in the place that I was 10 years ago, I'd like to challenge you with some insights that I have, because how would you handle if a young gay person came up to you and asked, "Why does God hate me?" That's a very difficult question to hear from someone. Hopefully you wouldn't give them back a hateful answer, but maybe with some of my insights, I can motivate you to perhaps thinking about some things. Certainly I have lots of experience, and I hope you will listen to it. You may not agree with it all, but the fact is that 10 years ago, I wouldn't have agreed with anything I'm saying now. And it was purely through relationship, several years of relationship, and just hanging out with my gay friends that weren't even Christians to see some aspects of their lives, and then entering about 5 or 6 years ago into the gay Christian community, and then learning within that community. So I have extensive experience, and in those 10 years, all 10 of these points have changed for me. So the first one is being gay a choice? I believe absolutely not. From my experience and from my interaction with my gay friends, most people know between the ages of 5 and 8 that there's something different about them. And by the time puberty hits, they're pretty well sure that they're not reacting the same way as their friends are. And before sexual thoughts are ever formed, orientation is pretty well set. I never chose to be a heterosexual. I never remember choosing to be attracted to, emotionally attracted, romantically attracted, or sexually attracted to just men. It's just the way I was born. Are there gay Christians? My goodness, I know over 1,000 of them. I believe that God is gender identity blind and orientation blind. And when he says all, he means all. When he says whosoever, he means those whosoever. If I get to judge my friends by the same way I judge my heterosexual friends, I look at profession and do they follow God, and are there fruits of the Spirit, and are there changed lives? Yes, all of those things are happening in the gay community, except if you are part of your checklist is that they change orientation, you will be sorely disappointed because that does not happen when someone becomes a Christian. Are there loving long-term relationships within the gay community? Absolutely. I know friends that have been together 45 years, and the fact that gay relationships can stay together without the benefits of marriage and legal documents and family and church support so surprises me. I mean, as heterosexuals, we have to ask ourselves how many times would we have walked out on our spouse if we didn't have all that support. So the fact that there's even loving, long-term, committed relationships within the gay community, my goodness, I applaud you. Yes, I see it. I love you to read on my blog site about the Dutch marriage study that's often used within Christian environments and conservative churches to tell us that gay men can only have, within the first year and a half of relationship, will have 8 partners. These are based on absolute lies. You can pretty well be sure that if you see a study coming out that is completely against monogamy in the gay community, just look at those statistics, dig into the research, see what the studies are about. I've done all this work. When I see those things, my brain just says lie now. Please read that part and several posts on my blog site. Homosexuality in the Bible. All instances where the word is translated as homosexuality in the Bible are extreme conditions: rape, prostitution, sex slaves, and also sex within idolatrous worship within temple practices. I could go into this and we would disagree on many points. My main encouragement to people is pick up your Bible, pick up a concordance only, go read those scriptures in context and be shocked. Because when I read them in context and spent several days studying this on my own, I came out not only angry, but deeply hurt that the impressions that I had of people were completely unfounded. I also am concerned that there's very few models of moral behavior, moral Christian behavior to our gay youth and to gay Christians. We need more models within our churches. There are models in the affirming churches, but we give young gay Christians two choices. You either pretend to be heterosexual for us, or celibate, or you get out. Those are not good options. You will cause either depression, internal shame, or a life of rebellion. So please consider that. When you deny orientations of someone, it's destructive. Sexual orientation is not a behavior. It is an orientation. Homosexual people are a class of people. They're not behaviors. It's not something you change like lying and cheating and adultery. I hear those things all the time. When you change bad behaviors in a life, you can expect a life benefit. When you ask a gay person to deny who they are, you will get some bad things that happen on the side. You'll get depression. You'll get alcohol and drug abuse. You'll get all kinds of bad behaviors from asking them to deny who they are. Reparative therapies programs like Exodus. I have never met anyone that went to a reparative therapy program as a homosexual and came out as a heterosexual. Sometimes they come out living as heterosexuals or celibate or in denial of who they are. But I know leaders, I know hundreds and hundreds of people have been through these programs. Not once have I met anyone that has actually changed orientation. I tried to go to an Exodus conference last year. It didn't work out, got uninvited, but I'd sure like to see some of you successful couples. And some of you successful couples, my reality on that is that they are bisexual. People are indeed bisexual. It doesn't mean they're equally attracted to men and women. It just means somewhere between 0, which is heterosexual, and 6, which is strictly homosexual. They float somewhere in there. They can be mostly same-sex attracted or mostly other sex attracted, but they're attracted to either sex. Does not mean, because I've heard this silly statement before too, that they need 2 spouses. They will be married to one spouse just like other people. Marriage is between 2 people, not 3 people, not all the variations that I hear. That doesn't exist. Next, there is no radical gay agenda. The radical gay agenda, this menacing radical gay agenda, was created by conservative groups, and I have to say it because all my research shows this, religious right groups in the 80s and 90s, and it was created to demonize yet another group because we needed volunteers, we needed to put money in our coffers, and the best way to do that is to find a common enemy. So the gay community, small enough, silent enough, good common enemy. There is no radical gay agenda. Gay people, the only agenda they have is they want equality. They want not special rights, they want equal rights. They don't want gay marriage, they just want marriage. So radical gay agenda doesn't exist. We Christians and conservatives, we created it. The next thing I see, because I hang around with so many gay Christians, and they are some of the most anointed people I know. Some of the best preachers and teachers I know are gay. I just have to say that too. They are wonderfully anointed people of God. And the loss to the church of the ones that did not stick and did not try to find their way back to God, that is just tragic to the community of God, to the body of Christ, to have lost all those really anointed, called Christians that just happen to be gay. And the last thing is this voice, this loud voice that we have seated. And the gay community really does hear it. They hear that they are hated and they hear that we are intolerant of them. And if that is not your revelation of Jesus and the message of Jesus that you would like the gay community to hear, please consider reading some of my blog posts. I've been writing for about 1.5 years on this topic. I've written very extensively on this. If you're a mom or a dad, please read my letter to moms and dads of gay youth and a Christian perspective. It's a different way of looking at it, but I think it's a very biblical way. I am an evangelical straight Christian. I am a mom. I have 2 straight children. I have no, dog in this fight. I've just been called by God to do what's right. And I believe that we need to start discussing in our churches and in our social circles what the issue is of civil inclusion, civil equality for the gay community, and inclusion of the gay community in our churches. It's not going away. This is the biggest civil rights issue we've had in the last 10 years and probably the next 10 years. So it's not going to go away. And I would really encourage you to not let your voice stay silent and not let your love of Jesus and your expression of God to be passive. Please get involved in this. Contact me, Kathy at CanyonWalkerConnections.com. I will engage you. I can be very, very reasonable in this conversation. I'm just like you. I was where you were 10 years ago. I would love to help you to understand the issues in this. So read my blogs, contact me, and the best things I can say is go befriend your gay neighbors, go befriend your gay co-workers, the gay family that you see that you know is a church that's not coming out. Just start talking to people, and in relationship, you'll make some progress too. Just humans. Find the commonality. And if they're Christians, there's tons of commonality there. Find the Jesus that you both love and start building relationship. It's going to change you. It changed me. I'm Kathy with CanyonWalkerConnections.com, and I really appreciate you listening to this. Please consider my experience and my insight and the passion and the heart of Jesus that I have in me for this community. Please listen. Please speak. Because you know what? Those other people, they don't speak for me. And I'll bet you anything, they don't speak for you either. Thank you.